Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Kate and Isaiah Living Large. I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Kate.
And on today's episode, we are going to do a recap of our 5K beer run that we did this past weekend. It was fantastical. But before we get into that, what kind of life updates you got going on besides we did the 5K?
I mean, the 5K, we've talked about this 5K. Any regular listeners knows how often we've talked about this 5K. We were really excited about it. And so it was a lot of focus put on that. But in addition to that, I got to tour a big cruise ship, the Oasis of the Seas, the Royal Caribbean cruise ship, when it was docked here in St. John. So that was a pretty cool thing.
That's pretty cool.
And regular performance band stuff. I had a band concert on Sunday just after the 5K. And so, I'm as busy as normal. How about you?
As busy as normal. Well, not last episode, but this episode before, we talked about plateauing, and I have broken my plateau. I did drop down to that 300 mark, which was super exciting. Did bounce back a little bit a couple days later to like 302, but I went down to 300, which is the key. After this weekend, we'll see where I'm at, because there was a lot going on this weekend.
Yeah, we'll get into that. The celebrations about the 300 and many other things.
That's right.
Were to happen.
This is exactly it. But also, we announced for the SPCA, we've got that going on. June 11th, we have our pub coming up at Foghorn, which is super sweet. And we just announced the In Pursuit of Fashion. That's coming up as well this month. So that's super exciting to be announced, and working with In Pursuit, which we talked about this during the run, but there was a lot of iterations of that name to be smacked in the face with the obvious. So it's quite embarrassing, to be honest, to be like, oh, that's a pretty obvious one to do.
You should tell them what one of the name options was that would have only attracted PETA.
One of the options was fashion with fur, and that obviously is not attracting the proper folk.
Was that the forever name?
Not the forever name. But
like all those animals trying to find their forever homes.
Right, that's exactly it. But yeah, that's super exciting that we have that announced out now. So that's coming up very soon.
We love In Pursuit.
Yes, we talked about them on our fashion episode.
That's some of my favorite items of clothing from In Pursuit, and it's just a great business run by a great woman and her great team, and it's just incredible.
Yeah, so we're super excited to be partnered with them for the SPCA and to do a fashion show with some of the adoptable dogs and cats.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually personally not part of this at all. I just love to support it. Love that we're supporting it through the podcast. And yay to Isaiah and his wife, Andrea, and others for putting it all together. I don't want to take credit for something that I'm not doing.
To be fair, it's mostly my wife doing a lot of it. She is very, very involved with the SPCA, which is great. And I help out where I can. It's awesome. So I think we should get into our 5K. I'm sure we have a ton to talk about.
Yeah.
About this 5K. But let's just start at the beginning. We met at Moosehead.
And
it was freezing.
And I got there really early because I am a person that hates, with a burning fiery passion, to be late. And part of it has to do with my size, and I don't want to have to stand in a long lineup. I don't want to bother anyone. So I am generally early for most things. And this was no exception. I had taken a cab over west because I didn't have any way to get my car back uptown after. And so I was there, and I didn't go inside Moosehead because it was so crowded, and I wasn't going to go pay for a beer. So I didn't want to take up a spot inside, not paying for anything. So I sat outside with my big Tide toucan and just waited for anybody that I knew to get there, particularly Isaiah.
And I was running late. And as we were driving over, my wife was driving me over, she goes, have you eaten breakfast today? And I went, no. And she went, okay, so you're going to do a 5K, and then you're going to drink a bunch. Maybe you should eat something. So we had to stop at Tim Hortons to eat. I'm very thankful that we did that, because the later half of the day would have been way worse than it was to begin with.
Yeah.
So then we were there. It was so cold. That it was so cold, but there was a lot of people. I was super happy to see all the turnout.
Yeah, it was
Very-
incredible. Like the beer run, it was organized by Uncorked Tours, so Jill and Natalie Nadell, and Jill and Nat and I go back all the way to our Woodstock days, and I'm just so proud of all of they've accomplished.
Oh my goodness.
Generally, Uncorked Tours is amazing. Uncorked in the city market is incredible. Like it's just a great space to hang out in. And so it's always great to see those guys and
Yeah.
shut up and and it was kind of funny at first. Nat was like, "Oh, are you volunteering?" I was like, "No, I'm running."
I'm doing it.
I'm doing it. And she's like, "Good for you."
Man, it is cold and we are warming up.
So cold.
Lots of people around. Then you got to lead the workout.
I did. So Jill asked me, she said, "You've been working out a lot. Do you want to lead the warm up?" And I went, "Do you want me to lead the warm up? Because I'll take any chance to take a spotlight."
And I have video of that, so I'll try and find either a spot here to post it, or I'll post a bunch of stuff online later.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. As I started to lead this warm up, I was looking out into the crowd, and I'd say there were a couple hundred people there easily enough.
Easily.
I think I was number 304 or something, and I was one of the last people to sign up. So there were at least that many people registered, but though I do think the cold wind
Probably
scared
some
some people
people away.
away because there seemed to be a lot busier when we were at the beer drinking part.
Yeah, there was a ton of people at the beer drinking part.
But so I got up in front of the crowd and I was like, "Okay, everybody, high knees." And I looked out and I was like, I'm the least likely person to be leading this warm up, but here we are.
Yeah, that was fun. That was good for you to get up there in front of a ton of people and just do your thing.
And I was pretty energized, and I didn't want to look stupid in front of everybody, so I was giving it pretty good at the warm up.
Last night or today?
Then we stopped and got to the starting line. I was like, "Isaiah, I think I just used all my energy."
And then she decided to run.
Yeah, I got caught up in the crowd. And the whole time I've been like, we're walking this. And then the whole crowd starts to leave in a big pack. And so I start to jog, and then I realize Isaiah's still behind. I was like, "Oh, what am I doing? Who am I? This is not a thing."
Took off running, and I was like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna run it." And quickly it went, "Okay, it was not. We gotta pace ourselves on this one."
Yeah, and pace ourselves. I did.
Thomas was drinking a beer. And it was cold, so we got going, and it was okay walking past the Moosehead Brewery, and then we hit that wall, and it was just wind as we turned Sims Corner, and started heading across the bridge, and that was so cold.
It was cold, and I was appropriately dressed. I had a jacket on and a toque, and Isaiah had a t-shirt.
I put jeans on.
Yeah,
I originally had shorts, and I went, "Oh, it is really windy and cold, and we're gonna walk, so I'll just put jeans on." But I had a t-shirt on. Super smart on my behalf,
I think my face is still windburned. Like I'm looking at my nose as we record this, and I look like Rudolph.
It was that crossing that bridge was so cold. It was brutal.
It was cold, and
And I think everyone said, like everyone we talked to at the end was like, it was so cold coming across.
and normal people who are fit enough would just accelerate their pace. I couldn't. I just couldn't go any faster than I was going. And I think that was the first time that I said, Isaiah, it's okay. Go ahead without me. I'll be fine.
This
And
is true. That was probably when we stopped we passed the first police officer, and we
We did.
stopped at the end of the bridge.
it feels really good to have people pick up the pylons just as you pass them.
Someone has to lead the end.
Yeah, so
We have to have anchors. That's us.
that's us. We let them know as we approach the pylon. You can pack up now. We're it.
Yeah, so that was probably the coldest part, was crossing that bridge. It was so windy and so cold, which made it so cold,
So windy.
and we're laughing. But that's fine.
We knew that.
We are just by Sims Corner now, and it is cold, but we were doing it.
Yeah. Somebody give us a ride.
So cold, which made Douglas Avenue not so bad. It was
No, Douglas Avenue was quite pleasant. And I was like, I tried to negotiate with one of the people with the pylons to let us keep walking. So like, listen, we're in last place. Like, can you just let us keep walking down past Ocean Steel? I'm pretty sure that's faster. And it happened to be a guy I used to work with, Scott, and he was like, Caitlin, no, just go.
So yeah, we went down there. That was when we started down Douglas Avenue, and then I told Caitlin we were about halfway there.
Yeah, I said,
We're about halfway
Isaiah,
there.
how much longer? And he goes, we're about halfway. And in my head, I was like, I know he's lying to me, but I'll take it.
that was Douglas Avenue was nice. It was nice and not so cold.
Yeah,
We had took a break or two on Douglas Avenue to
yeah.
catch up.
The stairs of Harborview High were a great back break for me, not like physical breakage, but like a place to sit down. Because I tell you, and I think this is something that I know about myself, and I've probably talked about it on this podcast, is my back, because when you carry a lot of weight around, it's really hard on your joints, and my knees and my back really do bother me, and they're better than they were before I started working out, but they really are atrocious. And running is just unacceptable to me. I wouldn't, if you see me running, run faster, because I'm running away from something. But I just needed to like stretch my back and sit down. And not like any of these breaks were super long.
No,
They're just
enough to, like-
just enough to like ease the pressure, take the weight off my joints, and keep going. And Isaiah did not sit once. And so that was probably the second time that I was like, Isaiah, go on without me. I'll be fine.
We are now on Douglas Avenue. We are making our way.
Yeah. Still last. You didn't
Last.
catch up to anyone.
We are consistent, if not anything else.
Yeah.
And the
I
beer
mean,
will be there when we
I
get
did
there.
try to plead to let somebody help us cheat, but like, no takers.
We're getting there. Almost there. Like halfway-ish.
Oh, is that it?
Listen, we'll do it. We're going to do it.
it.
We'll see you next update.
I'll be fine.
But we signed up to do it together, so I was not gonna finish without you. We made it.
We made it.
Maybe we started walking. We got that nice brisk hill down Brunswick. Is that what that's called?
Bentley.
Bentley?
No. Yeah,
It-
Bentley Street.
Yeah,
Bentley
it's
Street.
The one.
Where Greenlee Shoe is.
Yeah, where Greenlee Chew is. We had a nice conversation about
Yeah.
the Greenlee Chew ad.
I went to the 90s one where it's like Greenlee shoes.
And then I went to like the hippie. It's Greenlee Chew, man.
Yeah.
For those of you that know.
When you know, you know. St. John Radio, circa 1995 to 2009.
And we had the police stop traffic twice for us. We were very special.
Yeah. I said to Isaiah at the time, I said, normally I stop traffic with just my looks alone. I don't usually need the police. That's a lie.
Yeah, they stopped traffic for us to cross, and then we hit that lovely harbor passage.
Yeah, the Harbor Passage, that's a route I know well, because years ago I did this walking challenge through work. One of those, they give you all a pedometer and you're on teams and you don't want to let your team down. So you try to get at least 10,000 steps a day. And by the end of this challenge, me and two friends, who we became even better friends over the course of this walking challenge, we had a whole like system. It did not matter whether it rained or was freezing. We walked come hell or high water, no matter what. And we did Harbor Passage a lot because we'd all meet at King Square, go to the end of Harbor Passage, and then when we got really fit, and that happened for the other two before it happened for me, we'd walk all the way up the hill to Reversing Falls. I don't know who that Caitlin was, but she was not around on Saturday.
I think we did pretty good on Harbor Passage right up until like that final turn of Harbor Passage, right before we were like that home stretch.
Yeah. Everything started to catch up with me, and I was like, in my head, I was like, I even got dizzy at one point, and I was like, this isn't good. And I wanted to say that I was dizzy without being alarming. I was like, I'm a little dizzy. Oh, I'm fine.
Made it to Harbor Passage.
It's feels good to be here,
We're getting there.
but we don't have the police waiting for us.
Yes, yeah, we were so special that the police were waiting for us everywhere we went.
To say I stopped traffic,
Oh, we're almost there. We're getting there. It's less chilly than it was when we started, so that's nice.
that is nice.
But we will see you again, probably at the finish line. It's going to be our next check-in.
Yeah.
But
Meanwhile, Isaiah's like, what am I going to do with her? She falls.
Oh, yeah, but we did it. We finished it. We made it. We were at the end.
Oh
We
my
were,
God,
like,
though,
the
that last
ones.
hill,
Oh,
that route
Yes,
where
the-
you finish Harbor Passage and you turn up. What street is that?
you're asking me streets. I don't really know.
It's the one that goes right up by Market Square, like, and then you can turn off into the parking garage. But it felt like it was a
was
90-degree
bad.
incline, and I looked at Isaiah and I was like, why does this race hate freedom? I
Yeah.
don't know. I said this can't happen, and I made it about halfway up the hill and I stopped. I was like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, that was a. But then we made it. We did it. We finished it.
We did
We got our lovely badges. Our
our medals.
medals.
Ooh.
we did it. We made it. It was cold. It was awesome.
We made it. We did it. I'm not gonna go say so far as to say it was awesome, but we're done.
We're done. We made it. We're going to drink beer now.
Yeah.
And maybe have a seat.
Cheers, medal.
Cheers.
Chris at Big Tide adapted mine when I went there after and put a post-it note on it that said, instead of Port City Beer Run, it says Port City Beer Walk. Reasonable.
And obviously, Big Tide was our first stop once we got in. Because we had to, as you all have, any listener who has been listening for a while knows, we love Big Tide. We love Chris and all of the staff from Big Tide.
Yes. And Jesse was also there to
Yes.
greet us. And it turns out, I realized after that, maybe 5 minutes before we arrived, Jesse had texted me because he was like, okay, where are they? Are they okay? He's like, where are you, Kyle?
We made it. It took us what was an hour and 20 minutes.
120, yeah, which
Wasn't too
honestly
bad.
was, I mean, it's long and we came in last place. In no way do we think we won any races here, but it was better than I thought we were going to do.
Oh yeah, no, I thought we were at least an hour and a half, if not 2 hours. I was expecting 2 hours.
Yeah,
So an hour and 20 minutes is great, and the key is we did it.
we did it. And now here's a question for you. And it's a question that I was asked yesterday and again today. Would you do it again?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Would you do another race that didn't have beer at the end?
I don't know. Beer is a pretty big motivator for me. I mean, I probably would. I would have to be motivated though. There's got to be some other extra motivation for.
Yeah, I would definitely do another race. I think I would like to sign up for something this summer.
Yeah.
Again, like I'd like to see it. I mean, I'm competitive, not necessarily with the people around me, but I am competitive with myself, and I recognize my limitations. I wasn't going to try to race through this 5K and break my leg, but okay, that's 120, and that took it's minimal training, if any.
Yeah.
A couple of walks to make sure I could function, make sure my shoes worked. But to think about actually training and maybe doing another one in
Doing
in
another
summer,
one?
early
Yeah.
fall or something.
We can look into that. We should look into it and see what's
Out there.
What-
Like Marathon by the Sea maybe is, I don't know if it's on or it's off. Every time I look at something different.
Yeah. If you guys are practicing or training for something, you let us know what's coming up in the area that we maybe can look into. That would be
Yeah,
interesting to know.
it's a nice supportive environment that won't make fun of us for coming in dead last. And maybe has something fun to drink at the end. I mean, it doesn't have to be alcohol.
No,
We can find that on our own.
I'm very good at finding that on my own.
So that brings us to the beer portion
Oh my
of the beer
goodness.
run.
Yes, well, that was my favorite portion.
Yeah, well, my favorite portion, Isaiah, was spending time with you.
Well, that was my second favorite portion. We spend so much time together now,
It's true.
way more than we used to.
It's true. I mean, we hardly ever spent time together before.
Oh, hardly ever.
No.
But beer, yes, there was lots of beer, lots of people.
Well, tons of people.
Yeah, lots of people. So you had did you have any of the non-beer stuff? You had wine. We had wine together.
We had wine, and I tried the liquors too.
Yes, so what was it? Black Galley.
Yeah, man, they were
very
good. There was a sticky toffee one or some. Oh,
Yeah, I didn't have the sticky
holy
toffee.
smokes, it was good.
They had a
Dangerous.
They had a gin that was aged in a rum barrel, which was really good.
Yeah.
And as far as sugar goes, I know that gin is better than rum. Not much better, but better. So I was like, that's an interesting alternative.
Well, I think somebody told me once, and I'm no expert at this, but the person who told me, I'm pretty sure it was Jill from Uncorked, is that gin, vodka, and rum are all basically the same. They're just aged differently and in different ways and with different additives. It's all
Sort of.
alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. And if you're listening to this as a fat person weight loss content, we are sorry for this interjection of alcohol. Shots.
What was your favorite beer you had, or do you remember any of the beers?
I mean, I'm always a fan of the Big Tide Blueberry Cream Ale. It's hard
Yeah.
for me to not say that's my favorite.
Yeah, that was yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. You know what? Pickeroons, Dooryard and Melonhead have always been my two favorite
Yeah.
Pickeroons products, and they're especially good right now.
I am a Advit fan. Advit? That sounds weird coming out of my mouth. Is that the word I want to say? Sure.
You're a fan.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the watermelon Melonhead. It
Yeah.
is always my favorite. It is always my go-to in the summer. And yeah, this year, but last year's blend to me tasted a little over produced.
Yeah.
This year, although it still has more of a fake flavor, at least it tastes more like almost someone I talked to that night said like Hubba Bubba,
Oh, yeah.
like watermelon, which is what I thought, yeah.
What I liked about this iteration of the Melonhead, and what I always like about Big Tide's beers, flavored beers, is that they're beer tasting beers.
Yes.
They do have a flavor to them, but they do also very much taste like beer. It doesn't taste like some sweet treat. Also, though, the waters,
The real water.
The real
from
water
Pump
from-
House.
that was
Yeah,
amazing.
the real water vodka. Yeah, that was really good. It was like a 4.5% vodka water, flavored water. That was amazing.
So I've moved largely away from beer. I mean, with this weight loss journey, beer is like eating a loaf of bread at a time.
Right.
And there are things that, not to say that I always stay away from it, but I try if I'm drinking at all, and I've reduced that by a good clip to stick to more of the, a gin and soda or a White Claw
Yeah.
or those kind of flavored water type drinks, because then you're getting hydrated. And yeah, there is a caloric implication of having alcohol at all. But
Lower.
it's much significantly lower than beer.
Yeah, I've been altering my beer intake lately. I mean, I still do my beer podcast piece, so I'm not cutting beer out completely, but I have in recent times started to shift more towards the seltzers, to kind of alterate that
Yeah.
for sure.
And then Isaiah and I, we took full advantage of our free
Yes,
glasses of beer
entire time.
the entire time until it closed. And even as it closed, I was like, is there any left in that wine? Because I hit old Caitlin a little bit. And then we went on. and we stayed together for a little
Yeah,
while.
we did Big Tide.
Big Tide for
Mhm.
sure, of
Yeah,
course.
clearly.
And then we went to Wasted Day.
Wasted Day, and I love Wasted Day. And
And-
I requested a song, uh, Midnight Train to Georgia, which is
It's
a
true.
great song.
And then we parted ways, and Isaiah went on.
Yeah, I went up to Eric's bar, and I'm never going to be able to pronounce the name properly. Kakarutu?
I think that's the closest I've
I
heard
think
you say
that's
it.
the closest Eric will always correct me and then tell me it's not for me anyway. It's for him. That is what he always says.
I've actually never been there.
No? Oh,
No.
it's a great cocktail bar. Eric does fantastical things, liquor and non-liquor. He has lots
Nice.
of non-liquor options there, and he does tastings there too, which is great. So fantastic spot. So I stopped in there and had some stuff there. I went to Five and Dime and listened to some music. Went to O'Leary's, and I got home before you did.
And well, we were comparing notes before we recorded today because, we kept in touch a little bit while we were gone, but things go on. So I had gone from Wasted Day, had gone on to Churchill's and had a meal there, which was wise choice. And then I was told that I had friends at the R Bar. But my friends who I was meeting at the R Bar, who I have named in other episodes, but I'm not going to name in this one, had left before I had arrived. But I showed up and I was like, had my medal on, had my had my tag still on my jacket. I was legit, and I looked like a drowned rat because it was pouring rain at this point. And I walk in and my friend Matt hosts karaoke, and he's like shocked to see me because I haven't been in there since my birthday in March. And so it was like old home week, and I stayed there until the bar closed. And then I went out and I was chatting with some people, and all of a sudden it was like 2:30, and I was like, I need to get home. My legs don't work anymore. And I took
Yeah.
a cab from Charlotte Street to the bottom of King Street East.
Yeah, I got home, and the next morning my legs cramped, and my wife pointed out to both of us, maybe we should have drank water after
I did.
walking. I did not.
I did.
After walking a 5K and whatnot, you want to be hydrated for your muscles, and alcohol does not hydrate. Although it feels like it's hydrating, it is definitely not hydrating.
Well, sometimes it does a little. It doesn't, but it
I mean,
also
it's not hydrating enough.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, no. So
uh,
all in all, a great walk, a great day, and lots of awesome people and people that I'd
Yes.
never talked to before. I saw a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time. And you know what? I'll say as a in relation to the weight loss and to bring you more than the clips that Isaiah will either pepper in or share later. Contrary to what I was saying on the walk, what I felt really good about is when I was running into people, I felt better about myself than I have in,
Yeah.
a number of months because I'm doing stuff. Ostensibly, the people who are seeing me who hadn't seen me in years, I'm probably fatter than the previous time they'd seen me. But I felt good,
Yeah, no, it felt good to have set a goal for ourselves, and we said we were going to do it, and we did it. We did our 5K.
Despite me begging to let me hitchhike.
Yes, but we did it. We completed it. I am very proud of you for getting there and doing it.
I'm proud of you too. And I do appreciate you not leaving me behind. Although I meant it when I said it.
And as long as Katie didn't stop us, that would have been the end. You would have taken off on me, you said.
Yeah, if Katie had pulled over and stopped, she saw us when we were walking across Chesley Drive, I likely would have taken her up on it. It was pretty cold.
It was very cold. But all in all, I think it was a great time. Definitely met awesome people
We did.
and had awesome drinks and awesome walk.
Yep.
Super happy that we did.
Time to set the next goal.
Yeah, we have to set a new goal. We're gonna if you're doing a 5K or know of another thing happening, let us know in our comment section or on our Facebook. Let us know what's coming up that we should be looking at to do
Yeah.
the next thing.
Yeah, we'll work toward it and try to do better than we did this time.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll bring you lots of promo.
Yes, obviously. So
We'll talk about it ad nauseum.
If you are running it, always throw it our way.
Yeah.
But I think we should wrap this up. It's been a good episode. Where can people find you?
People can find me on the internet. No, on Facebook, I'm Caitlin Dean. On Instagram, I'm at KD or Kated. And on TikTok, I'm at Fat Caitlin. And yeah, and on Twitter, I'm at the Caitlin Dean.
I am at Maritime Brews on all of the social medias, as well as you can find us on Facebook, Kate and Isaiah Living Large. And I need to jump back and do editing our TikTok because I have not done that in a while. So we'll get some stuff up there as well.
I think we both could be better at the social media that we manage. I mean, I post our episodes on Facebook every week, but that's the only thing I do consistently. So if you follow us on socials, we're sorry.
And I'll have some clips from our stuff either sprinkled in the YouTube video, but I'll probably edit something and throw it up on Facebook as well for those of you who listen on Spotify. And
Maybe
things.
post it on the TikTok,
Oh,
and then I'll share it all of the other places.
Yeah, that could happen.
Social media. How it works.
But if you aren't following us on YouTube, you can jump on YouTube and find us there as well as again
all the regular
spots. And like and subscribe to us to make sure you get all the notifications. But other than that, it's been great talking to you guys again this week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.